Thank you.
We are
Recording
live.
ready.
We are so live.
This is good. This is what you get for the liveness. You get the uncut version.
Welcome
Yay.
to our first live podcast. As you can see, we're so mentally prepared for this, and I have a friend joining us from downstairs. She will only be here for a moment because she only wants to say hello and then leave.
Of course.
Hey, this is my dog.
As all pets do.
Yes. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye. All right. How's everyone going? We're glad to have you here. And I'm just going to bring up this on my phone so we can see any chats that come in.
Well, that's a good idea. This is why you're the boss. Laughing, but not disagreeing. I'm great. Just like, ha ha ha. Yes, that's true. Don't forget it. No, I'm good if that's what you asked. I'm good.
Oh, that's good.
This is a good way to end the weekend.
Yes. It's real cool as well that we can go live on YouTube because anyone watching, we did a test yesterday and we had to wait 24 hours, which I actually forgot about.
So stupid. Like, well, for what? For what? I'd like to know for what. So we can check. It's not. It's just stupid. It's needless. Except, please don't ban us, YouTube. I'm sorry for talking out of turn. Like, I love YouTube. It's my favorite platform.
Oh dear. So, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, we were doing some podcasts on Spotify, which some of you may have listened to. But then, yeah, we decided to show our faces because, we have such a beautiful mugs.
This is what you get. This is it.
This is how it be. So, yeah, we've both been gaming quite a bit recently. We thought we better catch up on that stuff because it's pretty important. Is it not?
I mean, it's effectively kind of what we do here. So.
It is. And we fucking love it so fucking much. We fucking love it so much, man. Oh my God. We just want to do it forever and nothing else. I mean, the only thing we ever want to do with our lives.
I mean, I don't think that's like even what's it called? I don't think that's even an exaggeration. I think that's exactly what we want to do.
100%. Oh, you're in the Shinra building.
I am in the Shinra building. Look, I'm the boss. It's a very uncomfortable chair though, because it looks like it's made of like, what is that? It looks like it's stone or something. Like, why is all the thrones and stuff made of stone? That doesn't look comfortable at all.
It actually
like, it looks like it's metal. It that wouldn't be comfortable. Like, why can't you just get like a nice like recliner or something if you're the boss?
It looks like it's got no arch support at all. No. Like, it's just I don't know. It's just like this. It's just you sit here and you sit like that. It's just like the. I have this background, everyone, because I recently moved house and I have a shit ton of boxes behind me, so I'm hiding my mess. But like, look, I can wait, and then I turn it into real life. You can't even see it; it's invisible. Oh my God! What is this sorcery?
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. No, that was actually really.
It's weird how the backgrounds do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Your hand is like the camera's like, that's not a thing.
Yeah, that is fun.
Well, my background is cool as well. Everybody.
Yeah, but your background is like actually like nice. It's got like a little plant in there and like things and pictures.
Yes. It's my office plant. It's my office.
I have nothing. I have crap, really.
You have a throne.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Yes, I've got that. Yes, with ominous background and what else is here?
Helipad.
This, of course, and recently moved house, but had to move my helipad as well.
Recently moved house, but my throne is already in place.
It came with, This is a fun podcast.
Oh, we're the goods. We're the goods.
All right. Well, I guess we'll probably start talking about what we're actually like here. Okay. So we thought this would be a good idea to kind of catch up with what we've been playing. And what have you been playing, Rebecca?
Oh, I've been playing The Witcher 3.
Very good game.
With good old Geralt.
Mm-hmm. This is the first time you played The Witcher?
Yes, it is.
And this is probably the first time you've played a game as intense as The Witcher, maybe? Like it's very much a different thing compared to other games I think you played.
Yes. But also no. Short answer yes with an if, long answer no with but.
The Simpsons reference, everyone. That's what we do here.
Well, Simpsons show.
So I know that you watched the Netflix show and burned through that. Is that specifically the only reason why you wanted to play the game, or were you just looking for something else to play and went, why not? Or
I mean, okay, like let's be fair. I had done my platinum playthroughs of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, let's be fair, everyone. Look, I've got my little platinum trophy, everyone. Oh, you can't see it, but I have one. It's here. There you go. You can kind of see it.
Actually, I want to know what that is, though.
It is a trophy that me and my friend made. We used to meet up every year and play FIFA together. And this was established in 2009, and we would take the trophy home, and whoever won would take the trophy back. You can kind of see it if I put it. There you go.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's nicey.
So, but that's what you've got for Final Fantasy VII.
Thank you. This can be my trophy. This one.
Of course, it's close. It's virtually identical. I can barely see the difference.
I should get a trophy shaped like this. No, but I mean that. Yeah, essentially, I had done the playthroughs like that of the Final Fantasies, and as a result, I was kind of like, I don't know what to do anymore because the Crisis Core is coming out.
It is,
and
2 months. Just under 2 months now.
What's the date today? It's the 16th.
16th, so just come out on the 12th, 13th, 12th.
13th.
So there you go, just under 2 months.
I mean, so there's 2 months of time, which is a lot, and I enjoy gaming a lot, like a lot. It's the thing that I do. Just, I mean, you guys, if you game, you know how it feels. You know why you do it. You know what it's all about, right? So I'm like, fuck, I can't go that long just faffing around with random games. Like, I can dabble in Tekken. I can go back into the Final Fantasies and I can torture there, but it's not going to be the same. So yes, I watched the show, and I tried watching it a few years ago, or whenever it came out. I think it was a couple of years ago. When it came out, I tried watching it, and I was like, I think I watched maybe an episode. And I was like, okay, cool, that was a cool battle, but I wasn't that into it. And then don't ask me why, because I don't know, but I hadn't correlated that it was the game and they'd made a show about it. I also hadn't correlated, again, don't ask me why, because I don't know, that it was Superman.
Yeah.
Witcher. So, naturally I was like, well, I got nothing to do. I wouldn't mind watching a bit of that on the TV. And, he's got white hair, and we all know I like white-haired men.
White-haired men with swords, yes.
White-haired men with swords, excuse me. Excuse me. One moment, please.
Oh. Is it the white-haired man with a sword?
This is my white, small white-haired thing that makes a lot of noise. So white-haired man with sword. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm totally down for that. Anyway, so I watched it and I was like, fucking hell. Whoa, this is amazing. The battles, the way he kills people, the I don't know why I'm like this.
Stabbed him right in the face.
I mean, there's that one scene in the first season where he gets asked to kill that. I think she's a mage.
The fight in the alleyway. Is that one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, he gets asked to kill her and he doesn't want to, but whatever. And then he goes along and he decides he's going to do all this stuff and go talk to her and blah, blah, blah. And then he goes to that place and those dudes are there and they try to stop him. And then he goes, oh, fuck. and it's that classic Geralt. Oh fuck!
Yeah. Yes,
and then
great.
The battle where he puts it, and I remember it so vividly, a sword through one of the dude's heads, like through his mouth, and pushes it up.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
I was so.
Yeah. It's you see that one, you're like, okay. It's just,
all right. I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
That's good.
So naturally, I progressed through the rest of the series, and I got maybe halfway through it, or through the first season, and I was like, "That's it. I'm playing The Witcher." Because I was at my mother's place at the time I was there for about 3.5 weeks, and I didn't have my consoles with me, so all I had was TV. So I was like, as soon as I get home, I'm playing this game, and that's exactly what I did. So that's what got me into it for sure. And I do like as well that they have made a really good show from a game. Normally when they do that, it turns out to be kind of average or disappointing.
Technically, it's actually from a book, and it's kind of offensive that you even think that. It's really funny to me that you actually, people, they don't even read the books. It's just such disrespect.
Also, I've said it, so you don't need to say it. Thank you, everyone. There's always people that would just, but no, it's as far as I'm aware, I think the books are slightly to even quite a lot different to the game, but I think the show is a bit more similar to the books. But just because Henry Cavill's an enormous nerd who wanted to make sure he was the guy, he was like, actually, maybe you should do it this way, but like nice about it. So.
And I love that as well. Like as I went through the show, I learned more about Henry Cavill and his infatuation with The Witcher, and the fact that he'd read the books, and he insisted, and even you were telling me, Nick, that he called, when he heard Netflix were making The Witcher and they were casting for it, he called them. He rang his agent, was like, give me their number.
Yeah.
I'm doing that part. And he dreamt of it for years.
It's a good thing these days with people like Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool and The Rock with Black Adam and Henry Cavill with The Witcher, that you've got these people who are so like loving of the thing that they want to support it and produce it and be that, and they have put so much heart into it. Like it actually kind of, you can see it, like it translates onto the screen. So it's like it's really good when you have people that can actually brings like that passion to life, because he does a very good job as Geralt. I think he's great.
I mean, I don't think they could have cast it any better based on what I know, what I've seen, and the, I guess the knowledge that I have on it, which, compared to some others would be relatively limited, but I don't think they could have done a better job, because I think he cares about it so much that he did do it very, very well. And I do agree with what you're saying. I think game Geralt and book and show Geralt, I would correlate them really heavily, and game Geralt, I would put kind of in his own.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah, they are a little bit different. I don't mind, but yeah, I almost prefer the question no one asked. I almost prefer the show Geralt or book Geralt, because he's a bit more grunty and a bit more sweary and a bit more willing to take his shirt off.
Of course. It's very important.
I mean, there's a basic things that we need. I didn't ask for this.
No. So obviously the Witcher game, the combat in that game is very dynamic. There's a lot of things involved. There's a lot of elements and oils and signs and this and mutagens, and so, compared to obviously you platinumed Final Fantasy VII Remake. Compared to that, what do you think? Of course, the platinum. What do you think? How have you adapted to kind of learning something that's a bit different? Because I don't think you have too much experience with sort of like that sort of dynamic sort of gameplay, because in the remake you can kind of pause for a second, choose your attack, and you got that little bit of time. Where in The Witcher is just like you just go.
Yeah, I mean, it was when I first got into the game and saw the battle system and went through the tutorials, it was a little bit like, oh fuck, I don't know if I want to do this. Because
yeah.
I feel like everyone has that moment when they're learning a new game.
Of course.
Depending on the difficulty level or whether they've done it several times before. But there's always that point when you're learning a new system and you're going, oh, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
But as I had already committed to playing the game and I had already built a relationship with it, I was going to see it through. There's obviously parrying, counterattacks, the magic, the art and the axie and the igni, all these things. And I was like, I don't even know if I want to use any of these. I'm just going to use a fucking fire.
To be fair, that I feel that strategy is probably quite well used with lots of different people too. So
Yeah, I mean, it didn't do me dirty for the first.
No, I mean, it is very overwhelming with just the amount of things that are there. Like with just all you open your inventory and you've got all these tabs and you're just like, well, that's just too many. Like it's just so it's 100%. A lot of stuff going on. So I can definitely understand it would be quite a bit overwhelming with just. There you go for it. So.
Yeah, and I mean, they take you through the tutorials when you're at Cameron. Is that how you say it? Cameron. I've heard it so many times. The Witcher camp, where they
the Witcher HQ.
Witcher's Haven. When you're there and you're just training a series there and and it is taking you through the shit, and I was just like, okay, like whatever. I get a little bit into it because I'm not really a words person. I'm a very kinesthetic learner. When I'm doing it, I'll start to learn it. I know that is actually the hard way. Well, the hard way of learning things. Some people are really good with audio learning. Some people are really good with reading something. Some people are really good with visual, like video learning. Me, I'm a bit of visual and video, bit of reading, but my brain will kind of shut off once it's done X amount of reading learning, and then it will start to switch over into kinesthetics. So that's exactly what happened when I was doing this. Is I was doing the parries, I was doing the stuff, I was switching through that, I was doing the crossbow, I did a fucking bomb, and then it was saying there were like 3 pages of this like next one tutorial, and I was like, do you know what, just fuck off. I'll just figure it out as I go, and that's exactly what happened. But because like, listen, and I'll stand by this until something seriously proves me wrong, the materia system in Final Fantasy VII is foolproof. It's phenomenal. I'm like that trending sound. It's amazing. I love it. It's like Lady Gaga. It's perfect. It's the best thing. It's just great. It's off the chart. I think materia system is that. I think it's so good. You equip what you fucking want, and you don't have any bullshit that you don't want. And you only take what you need and then master it and then get more and whatever. But I think that's great. And I do find them somewhat correlating in terms of that, because aside from the you get what you take what you need and use what you want type thing, I do like how things get segmented. So when you're in battle and you want to use a sign, you'll just select that sign. Like, it's not like there's a whole complicated route to use a particular thing. You select that and it stays on you until you choose another one. So I do like that about it. I also do, to be fair, really like the fact that it's mostly sword battle.
Yep. Understand.
Big fan of that. So yeah. I mean, overall, I do like the battle system. I have gotten used to it. I have gotten pretty good at it. I like the oils. I like picking up new swords and going, is that one stronger than the one I've got?
It's part of the game.
Exactly. I like as well that oils will run out. I like that you can deconstruct things once you put glyphs in your clothing and that kind of thing. Not that I really do, but I like that I've got that option. So yeah, no, I do quite like it actually. And now that I'm used to it, I feel like I could play other games that are very much like that. Not that I couldn't before, but I feel like this is like
it's a bit more of it's a good stepping stone, because I think there are just me personally, there is quite a few of those sort of games I think you would very much enjoy that I don't think you've had the kind of, it would be too much of a jump for you, you know? So I think it's very much like you can open yourself up to doing those sort of things, because there's a lot of a lot of good story, fun stuff that you can now have a look at, because you've kind of got, okay, well, it's this thing, but it's just a little bit different, or it's a little bit extra, a little bit less, and then you can kind of, rather than just going, what the hell is this? Like, so it's good. So it's progressing. It's very exciting.
I'm having fun.
It's the main thing. Now,
that's true.
In The Witcher, there's a bajillion different characters. There's each of those characters. I think what The Witcher did is it made a lot of those characters, a lot of the side characters, a lot of your people you talk to, like, very memorable, and you kind of, even if you don't talk to them a couple of times, you're like, oh yeah, that's, you definitely, they're all very unique. Do you have besides obviously Geralt, or I guess, do you have a particular character that you enjoy or that you like that isn't Geralt, or but someone that you kind of, I guess, because I think just by exposure, you watch the show, you know about Geralt, you know about the sorceresses, you know about Ciri, but did you find anything that you went, I like this one?
Who's the guy that I think he runs like a brothel looking thing with pools everywhere and naked?
Is that Dijkstra? The big guy? Yeah. Yes. He's like kind of fat and bald.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Dijkstra too. yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
I like him. Mm-hmm. I like him because he just says what
was kind of a dick.
He was kind of
yeah. I'm not sure what it is about that, but it's like, I like him, but because he's kind of just, very much like, I think a lot of people in that game are very kind of like, ooh, it's Geralt, he's a Witcher. Whereas Dick's just like, I don't care.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't care.
I don't really care.
Yeah, he's got no time for any bullshit. He's just like, and the thing is as well is he helps Geralt.
He does, despite to a degree. Yeah.
Whatever beef they've got. Clearly, they've had other times, times prior where they've had beef and they've wronged one another or something to that degree. But I did quite like him. Having said that, I didn't even remember his name. So
there is, again, this is another one of those sort of stepping stones, that there is a lot of overwhelming with information. Like, it's very lore heavy. I think Final Fantasy is quite light with the lore. It's very much character driven, whereas this, it's like you find books on the ground and you can read them, and you find things, you can read those, and characters, and there's a lot of stuff everywhere, and it helps build the world, but also it can be very like, it'll just kind of smushes into one bit, so you kind of just remember, that's the guy that's over there. You don't really remember specific names as easy.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that, because and as well the way that the because it's so open world, you can be halfway through one mission and you can actually, or quest, and you can obviously then begin another one if it's kind of like nearby, or you pick it up and it's like, that suddenly happens, and then before you know it, the one that you were doing is kind of like 5 or 6 quests back, and you're out doing that, and you're like, oh shit, that's right, I was supposed to be doing that, when you go into the menu. And it's like, I'm 5 levels above it now. Fuck, I better go do it before it's
great. Love all the side quests. The best.
So, I mean, I like Dijkstra. Okay, one thing I also like, and this is like, okay, but it's kind of, please don't hate me for what I did, everybody, because you're about to find out. But
I tell.
I liked Kira.
Yeah, well, everyone does.
But I killed her.
Shame. See, this leads me on to my next point, my next question, which was, obviously, Final Fantasy VII Remake, you don't have, the story is very driven by the story. You can't really change things. In The Witcher, you have choices and you have things that you can do that change the story. Kira doesn't need to die, but you have killed her.
I did.
So this leads me on. Do you enjoy having the level of control that you have over the story? Do you
Fuck no.
do you? When will you learn that? When will you learn that your actions have consequences? You need. So it's very much a different thing because you can. I think I remember when I was finishing The Witcher, like at the end, I had to look up guides and be like, okay, I have to answer this question, and this one to get this bit ending here that I wanted. Otherwise, people will die. Like everyone will die. Like it's very much like it's kind of cool in a way, but at the same time, it's very.
It's cool. It's cool. But it's also I feel like I have too much responsibility on me as the dare I say it, NPC.
I don't like being the main character. It's too scary.
I just
want to be the guy that yells top-notch swords at everybody.
I just want to be the person that goes, looks like rain. It's true. It's all right. It's all right. It is it's different. And I don't mind. Like the thing about me is I don't necessarily would put anything in the like bad or good category. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, I don't play first person shooters. I am bad at them. So bad. But I'm not going to be like, those are shit games. I'm just going to be like, I don't play those games. Yeah. And so, in terms of like this, I could very easily say I'm not very good at select because I'm not looking up any fucking strategy guides. I'm not looking up any what should I do, which would be probably a smart move because then people
maybe as you get further on, just because at one time you'll do it, you'll kill somebody else, and you'll be like, well, fuck. And you'll kill someone else that's important, and then you'll be sad, and then you'll learn. It's like life, like you'll screw up and you'll learn.
I mean, I was talking to my friend about the Kiera thing, and because I'm blown away about, and call me sheltered, but I'm blown away about the graphic sex scenes in this game, right?
Yeah, it's a bit because I think like I played the Mass Effect games and different studio, different thing altogether, and it's very much like sort of like implied there. It's like, oh, you see a bit of things, it's all cutaways and it's all like nice and romantic and you just see movement and things. And this one you're just like, oh well, that's just okay, right?
Yeah,
to make sure that no one's walking past when you accidentally go into a scene or something.
Actually, and then like I was telling my friend about it, I was like, oh, because he came over like the day after I had done
extracurricular activities with Kira.
Yes, and killed her. And to be fair,
wow, that's just didn't even leave a note or anything. Didn't say have a good day. Just straight off as you go.
I'm a bad person. For real. I mean, yeah, but I was telling him about it and I was like, dude, I can't believe, like, firstly, that she died. Yeah. And secondly, that all that stuff. And he goes, yeah, I was playing it with my, like, he's got a child, he's got 3 children, but he was playing it with one of the oldest ones. And I think he's about 10 years old. And he goes, I had to turn the screen off and wait for the amount of time that I assumed that would last for, and then turn it back on. But then he killed Kira and he goes, I'm pretty sure that wasn't supposed to happen. Went back, chose another option, didn't kill her, everything's all good. So look, I didn't do that part, I did the killing part. And like, yeah, so I guess like when it comes down to it, the freedom of choice is like, I'm a very much like the decisions I make everywhere in life, whatever, I wear them. I'm like, okay, that happened. I've just got to be okay with it. I can't be upset about it. But I can definitely talk about it on a podcast.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so I mean it's all right, but I wouldn't have the game, I think, any other way.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is your first time sort of playing through anyway, so it's because of how it's structured. You can do so many varieties of different playthroughs, so you can hopefully make her live next time.
Yes. I mean, yeah. I think, I'm not sure whether I will go for a platinum on this because
it's a lot.
Well, do you want to know the only thing that would stop me?
What does it have to be done on like nightmare mode or something?
I don't think it does actually. Oh, I don't think it does. I don't think it's got necessarily a hard mode. I think it's just got expansions that are a higher level.
Oh yeah.
It's the Gwent.
Oh yeah. See, everyone loves Gwent. I sucked at Gwent.
Gwent is a bag of dicks.
I tried understanding it, and I was so overwhelmed with all the rules and stuff, and I'm like, hey man, listen, I'm happy for you, but I really can't. It's a pain.
I played it because I think you have to.
It's like a little tutorial game, and I'm like, I lost the tutorial game. I think you're supposed to win that. Like, I'm just like, on my head, there's just too much going on. There's cards, and then they've got values, and I'm like, am I winning? Am I losing? And then at the end, I'm like, oh, I lost. Okay, I thought I was winning, but okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really, yeah.
It's like, I was playing it, and the whole time I was like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. No. I did win, but I don't know how.
No idea.
And the thing is, as well, is I am not willing to learn it.
It's a lot.
Because as well, I think there's a number of Gwent trophies to get.
Well, it's like that they made an entire spin-off game. Like it's like a mobile game now. It's an actual physical game you can play, and it's a mobile game now. That's how popular it was. Obviously, people love it. And that's cool, but I'm good.
It's beyond me.
I'm like
to care about it, not to learn it. I could if I wanted to. But I just don't. I don't know. Have you ever been at like a place or whatever, party, blah, blah, and people start playing a card game that you've never fucking heard of in your life? Mm-hmm. And they go, oh yeah, let's play this. And you go, well, I just don't know how to play it. And they go, that's all right, we'll teach you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're like going, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. And you're half drunk because you're at a party. And people start handing out your cards. Everyone, fucking 6 people at the table, hand out your shit, and you've got this fucking hand of cards, and they go, okay, so here's the rules. You got to do this and then that, but you can't do that unless this happens, and you can only do that if this happens, and then that will happen, and then it's your turn then, but it won't be your turn, and you're just sitting there like,
yeah, where's Uno?
Is this Gwent, motherfucker?
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know what you're saying.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I've never cared enough to look into it further. I was like, I'm good.
It ain't it.
Mixing potions and oils is enough for me. I'm fine, thanks.
I mean, to be fair, that is something you got to get used to as well. And it should be straightforward. It actually should be straightforward because it's like you just make, what are they called? Decotations?
Yes, close. I'm pretty sure I don't know, but you got the right thing.
Yeah, it should be easy to make those things, and it should be easy to brain them. But I think it does take a level of, unless again you are seasoned with these kind of games and you know kind of what's going on. But when you are new to them, it just takes some time. It's just really as simple as that. Bartosz says, I reckon Henry will voice Geralt in the next lineup of games. And do you know what? That would be so fucking cool.
Yeah, that would. I like the idea of him being in the games more. It's just my only question with that is the other guy that's been voiced Geralt for the last bajillion years just not going to be able to do it anymore? Because I know the guy who voices Geralt currently, he's been doing it for ages and he loves it. So I don't know. I feel like it would be cool if maybe they got Henry in as like another Witcher or like as another voice, because I'm sure he would be happy just to be involved in some way. Because I think he would love that. But yeah, just with voice stuff, like even like the Final Fantasy VII remake, so many of all of the voices were recast from the original Advent Children kind of Crisis Core games, and so many of them are kind of, I don't think they kind of just want to go with these new voices because it's like it's a new game, new voices, and I hope they don't do that because it's like it just kind of changes the vibe. Like we spoke about how the voices of like Sephiroth and Cloud, they're just a bit different, and they're not. I didn't particularly enjoy them as well with Crisis Core coming out. The new voices of Sephiroth again. You've got Zack, and I think Zack is a big talk of discussion in the Final Fantasy world because his voice actor doesn't seem to have, just by the trailers, the level of emotion and stuff, and apparently he's kind of a dick. So there's that too. So it's yeah. I'm always cautious for voice casting sort of stuff because if it's not broke, don't fix it type thing.
That is true, and I do feel like Geralt does have a pretty lit voice.
It's true. He's got a cool, and he seems like I've seen like clips of him. He seems like a really cool guy at like conventions and stuff. He's always happy to do the voice for you. And I'm like, that's cool. I like that. Actually, there's a cosplayer who cosplays as Geralt a lot, and they got him to work with the voice actor for like a bit. So like they had his voice, and the other guy was dressed as Geralt. It was a really cool thing. I'll find it and I'll send it to you later. But it's he seems very much ingrained in that community, and it'd be a shame to kind of kick him out on his butt,
For sure. Yeah, and I think what you just said, like maybe Henry Cavill could voice another Witcher.
Yeah, I think he would love that. He would love it. He would be so happy to do it, I'm sure,
Yeah. But then would that take away from his on-screen?
Or just go like the whole Spider-Man No Way Home thing and just do like alternate universes of Geralt. just there's just multitude of them. I'm sure I'm sure there's like a cartoon version of Geralt that they can bring into, just bring them all through.
The like it's 1, 2, 3 and Netflix Geralt, like they are polar difference.
Yeah, switch them
I know the first 3 Witches is the same. Hang on a minute, the first one wouldn't have been voiced. The second one potentially.
I think the second one definitely wasn't. I think maybe even the first one was too. I don't know. I know I played the second one and it was, but I would just maybe assume the first one was too. But
they would look hella different though, because graphics, #graphics. But,
yeah, the early Witcher face is kind of hard to look at.
Does he even have a scar?
Yeah, he just looks weird.
Yeah,
it's just a creepy looking dude, to be honest.
So you're playing Cyberpunk at the moment.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They are, and I only just recently found this out. Cyberpunk and The Witcher are made by the same studio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why I was so excited for Cyberpunk, just because I knew it would be good, and it was good, bar the terrible kind of release and all the glitches and stuff like that. But it's very good now. Now it's been kind of fixed a little bit more. Was it glitchy when it came out? I think. Yeah, I got it on release on my PS4 Pro, and it would crash every hour and a half, and it would just stop. You'd be like, okay. I persevered because I loved kind of the story and the world it was in. But yeah, it wasn't great. They've made a lot of good improvements since then, and it's a lot like every time they make a patch of updates, it's almost like, well, I need to play the game again with all these things now because there's so much extra shit. There's so much stuff that makes the game experience better. How many hours have you put into it? On my current playthrough, I've done 80. Altogether, I've probably done 130 on 3 different playthroughs. That's decent. Yeah, it's not too bad. How many hours do you think the story is? Because obviously there's story mode. Probably to completely finish it with no side quests would probably be maybe 30 or maybe. But with all this, I feel like the game does push you to do side quests, and it's very much the side quests so you can get better stuff and everything. And I've done all the side quests, but maybe 3 or 4, and I think you could easily finish them in 70 or so hours, 60 maybe. I don't know why, but that game, because I've never touched that game in my life. I probably will at some point, but
For some reason, that game seems to me like it's not very story driven.
Oh, if anything, I think the story is the best. If the story was lacking, I think I would have thrown it away a long time ago. I think the story is arguably the best part of it.
Okay. So, obviously, Keanu Reeves is in
it. He is in it, yes. It's very good in it, yeah.
What's his deal? Why is he... Who the fuck is he? What's he doing?
So, in this world version of Earth, he plays a character called Johnny Silverhand. Johnny Silverhand was a lead singer of a rock band, but also he was very much like a sort of like eco-terrorist type deal. And there's a corporation in Cyberpunk's world called Arasaka, who are like a Japanese corporation, and they did a lot of shitty things. And as the story goes on, you learn kind of what they did to Johnny, and he then planted, like, I think it's a nuke. It's some sort of nuclear bomb at the base of the building, blew it up, and he was killed, supposedly. In the story, you find out that he wasn't killed, he was captured, and his, like, I guess, we would call it sort of like psyche. His psyche was kind of put onto a computer chip, which was then kept, and your character that you play finds that chip. As the story goes on, you learn that you had to steal that chip for somebody, and eventually the chip ends up kind of like everyone's kind of part computer, so we've all got a little like slot in your neck. You'll end up, the chip is put into you, and there's a sort of like kind of mess up of things, and he effectively inhabits sort of your body basically as well. So you can talk to him in a way, but no one else can see him, and he can talk to you, and there's like a lot of back and forth and stuff, and that's effectively how the story goes, is that you want to get him out of there, but also not kill you in the process.
Okay, so there's two, like, okay, if we think about it like on an Earth, like Earth level, like an human level.
Sure.
There's two consciousnesses.
Yes. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. So there is you've got Johnny's character, which appears when he wants to make jokes or kind of insult you or give you advice or talk or say things, and then you've just got your person who you control, who's the main kind of carrier. As the game goes on, you learn a bit more about kind of the boundaries of that and how it kind of works, and how, I guess, technically how it exists and so on.
So do you get like any kind of freedom to, so like he's there, Keanu is there,
yeah,
Johnny is there. Do you get any kind of say, or does he really run the show?
No, you effectively run the show, but he more has a say, and obviously you can have conversations with him, and he'll give you sort of advice, and sometimes it's not great advice, but it's effectively just like you've got like a little guardian angel on your shoulder, but he just says sarcastic comments to you and wears leather pants.
So okay, all right. So there's two people inside. One head, essentially. One of them is cool as Keanu, who was in a rock band, and the other one is you.
Yep.
Who is you? Like what?
Oh, you're effectively a merc. You've come back to Night City to kind of, as far as I'm aware, your character left for whatever reason, comes back to kind of seek fame and fortune. I think a lot of Cyberpunk is based on sort of wanting to become a legend of the city, wanting to be remembered, because so many people just kind of fade away. And funnily enough, one of Johnny Silverhand's songs is called Never Fade Away, because he was such a legend. He's constantly remembered. And I think your character V, he or she, you can play as either, he is constantly a lot of his motivation is he doesn't want to be forgotten, so he's trying to make a name for himself, make himself be remembered, have an impact on the world that's around him. But he kind of has to almost push that a little bit to the side, because he's got a kind of crazy guy in his head, which is isn't favorable.
So no one else can see Keanu?
No one else can see him. No, only you can.
Do you talk to?
He does. Yeah, he talks to you. You can talk to him. That you can have conversations. There are several points in the game which are kind of like landmarky, where it's a lot of conversation between you and him, where you kind of. He's kind of dick at the start, as you would be too if you ended up in someone else's body. But it's a bit of adjustment, and he does sort of warm to you, but it's a lot of because it's a cyberpunk game, because it's developed by the guys that developed The Witcher. There's a lot of choices, and depending on what you choose, you can be a dick to him, and he'll be a dick to you. So it's very much like depending on what you want your character to be like, depending on what you get back.
So okay, so you're there, you're having conversations with Keanu.
Yeah, just chilling.
You're either male or female.
Mm-hmm.
What's your character?
Oh, my character currently is a male, but I'm gonna do my next playthrough. I'll be a female, but I'm just gonna only use swords and knives and no guns, because there's a myriad of weapons, but it will only be swords. It'll be nothing else, and that's the challenge I want to put to myself for the next one.
Is it like do you? I mean, obviously you've got a myriad of weapons.
Oh, sorry.
So you got what, firearms, swords?
Yeah, firearms, like heaps of different firearms. You've got swords and knives, and then you've got like bats and hammers and axes and crap. Yeah, and then you can obviously just like punch people in the face, and then you have your cybernetic attachments, so you can have like blades that come out your arm, and then you have like this wire that you can use to whip people with that you got, and then you get like missiles that can come out your arm. The whole idea is that you have so much freedom to. If you want to go in there and shoot the crap out of everyone, you can. Or if you want to go in there and kill every single person without making a noise, you can do that too.
Do you have magic?
You have magic. You have like sort of a cybernetic sort of, I guess, it depends on kind of what you want to achieve. If you want to be a bit more stealthy, you can have they describe it as like a RAM chip. So like you have a certain amount of RAM, and you can hack into other people because they're part computer, and you can make them short circuit, so they'll freeze, or system reset, so they'll just collapse and be unconscious, or you can detonate grenade on them, so the grenade they're holding will explode, or a variety of different like status effects that you can do, or there's a few that you can do this one where it slows time for a certain amount of like 30 seconds or something, and you can move faster than anyone else and then kind of hit the ball physically if you want to do this. It depends on a lot on how you want to play the game. It defines your style of weapon, I guess.
And so, like, do you enjoy the combat?
Oh yeah. See, I like you, I'm terrible at first-person shooters, and it is a first-person shooter. So I was kind of forced to learn how to do it, and I think it's not as, because obviously I think a lot of people's reference for first-person shooters are like Call of Duty and stuff, and I've watched Call of Duty gameplay. It's so fast, whereas I think Cyberpunk's definitely a lot slower. It's a lot easier to understand. There's a lot more things. It feels a bit easier to me for like a scrub who's just kind of learning first person stuff anyway. So it's definitely a lot slower, and if you don't want to shoot anybody, you don't have to. You can just walk around throwing knives at people's faces. Like it's purely up to you. Or you can just smack people with a baseball bat. Like it's whatever you want. It's very, very dynamic. Whatever solution you want to do, you can do.
And I mean, if you've got the option to do a playthrough without even using any fucking firearms.
Oh yeah. You can definitely do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. I like that because I definitely prefer the melee kind of the sword. I prefer throwing a fucking sword around. It doesn't matter whether it's 7-foot sword or if it's a katana or what it is, but I definitely prefer that. Because I feel like it's closer combat, it's easier to control, and like what you just said about Call of Duty, totally.
Yeah.
Yes, it is so
too much.
Oh my giddy aunt! I have a very good friend of mine. One of my best friends. He is a Call of Duty player, or he's a shooter player, first-person shooter player, and he tried playing. What was it? I think it was like Apex Legends or something like that.
Yeah, another one of those really fast ones.
Because so they brought out a new Call of Duty, which is I think it's what Warzone 2 or something or other. I get confused with all of the names because of my ignorance, because someone will probably be listening going,
actually, it's actually, I don't know. We don't know, okay? We don't we don't keep tabs on what we're terrible at. Like, jeez.
But so they just released a few weeks ago, there was a beta edition, and it was initially PS5 exclusive, and then it became an open beta, so it was obviously crossplay. And anyway, he was over here visiting, and I let him use it on my PlayStation while he was waiting for his PlayStation to arrive. So it was on my 65-inch TV downstairs, and I kept going down because I work upstairs. I kept going down having a look, and boy, that's
it's a lot. It's a lot going on.
It's like, and I said, he was outside having a vape, and I said, "Can I have a go, mate?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I'm just like, how do you even? And he's like, "You've got to look over there when you're not looking over there, and you've got to turn that corner before you turn that corner." And
it's too much. Yeah.
I'm like, bro,
too much going on.
What the fuck? Anyway, so I died. But yeah, he feels like like I tried playing Assassin's Creed. That's right. And he said it was so slow.
Yeah.
Fallen asleep.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that I think Cyberpunk is definitely, compared to that, it's very, very slow, but it's it's a bit easier to kind of digest, and you can, as you go, you can kind of learn how to do things best, but it's not super reflex based, so you don't have to stress too much about that side of things. Because I've seen people like professionally play Call of Duty and stuff, and I'm like, I can't even keep up with what's going on. So
I'm impressed.
It's just like, okay, I can't.
I feel like the kind of games that like you or I play, they're both like, they've got a combat system, obviously, but they have also a really like fleshed out story.
Yeah, very important.
Whereas, Call of Duty,
I don't think they're super story based. It's very much like sort of multiplayer based.
Yeah, and there's definitely that, I guess, trade-off. Some games are too much story.
Yes,
not enough combat. Final Fantasy, obviously, the perfect balance between the two. Well, most of them anyway.
Most of them, it's true.
Let's not talk about 13.
Always good.
But no, I mean, yeah, Cyberpunk does sound cool, and I think that the battle system sounds cool.
It is cool. We'll have to get you on a share play type sort of takeover, so you can have a go.
Yes. Now that I have a LAN connection.
Now that my character's ridiculously OP, it should be a lot easier than it would be any other time. So it should be fun.
That's fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, Cyberpunk does sound really cool, and I think like when it came out, I definitely heard in the community, not that I paid much attention to it, but about the issues that it was having, and then later on, it seems like it's a very popular but like niche game. Like people are. I got a friend who built a PC.
Yeah.
Just to play Cyberpunk.
Yeah. The PC mods and stuff, you can really kind of, the amount of stuff you can do is like huge, and like it looks so much better. There's a lot of variety of gameplay options that I don't think the developers have added yet, or may not add in the future. But I think it was the most played game on Steam in like a couple of weeks ago, purely because of the anime that was released on Netflix, and that's kind of like skyrocketed it into like everyone's sort of view again. And with the recent update, which kind of coincided with the release, everyone's like, oh, this game's actually like pretty good now. So I think that's definitely helped quite a lot with that, and there will be DLC coming out in the early next year, which I'm excited to play. And so it's all good news for Cyberpunk stuff.
I really do feel like games can capitalize on making a show, like you just mentioned, Cyberpunk, releasing their anime, and like, to be fair, I'll probably watch it because it's anime, but also because it's a game that my friend plays, and game, blah blah blah. But I think we could both agree that once I watched it, I'll probably be way more keen to play it.
Oh yeah, I think that's a lot of it. A lot of, obviously it's exactly the same world. I think it's 20, 15 years before. I want to say 20 years before the game. They've chucked a whole bunch of the anime stuff in the game as well. So there's references to the anime in the game. There's items in the game that are in the anime that you can get. There's characters in there that you can see. So it's like it's a very good tie-in. So I think the anime. I think a lot of people weren't sort of expecting it to be outstanding, and I think it has been received as outstanding. And as far as I can tell, like there's quite a lot of memorable moments in there, and I think it really kind of captures that, because I think Cyberpunk is probably the best sort of. It wouldn't have worked in any other. It would have been terrible as a live action. It would kind of only had to work as an anime, because I think shows like Cowboy Bebop and Akira have definitely lent itself to that sort of style of anime, and I think I'll probably binge the whole show when I finish my playthrough of Cyberpunk in preparation for my second playthrough of Cyberpunk. So I'm excited to watch it, but also scared, because it's apparently very feely, and that's going to be a fun time. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, the game itself is very feely as well, in the way that, you've got your main character, and he can be a dick, or she can be a dick, but also you meet characters along the way, and kind of they recognize sort of what's going on in your life, and I think it's definitely arguably the best story-driven game I've ever played, and that is outranking every single Final Fantasy, which would go against brand for me. But I think personally, it very much it did different things, and it did them really well.
That's a huge claim.
Well, so I think with Final Fantasy, if you play a main character, you don't get to be that main character. You get to be like you controlling Cloud, whereas in this, it's you as the main character, rather than you just kind of like going here and talking as Cloud. Whereas this is like you've put in the same way, similar with The Witcher, but slightly a bit less. You put yourself in that position of communicating with these other characters and ending up where you are and stuff. So I think it's like I'm finishing off on my side quest now, and I'm kind of like don't really want to I don't really want to do this anymore. Like I want to just leave it here, but like I kind of have to kind of like it's coming to an end, and it's like the characters, like even the characters can see that too. So it's very much like if a story can make you feel that way, I think it's done a good job.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't know. I love that feeling of knowing you're getting near the end of a game, as long as you've done all of the things, like it's a full piece, like the web is full. It's not just a half sewn together fucking thing where you skipped all the side quests, i.e. me prior to my recent gaming adventures, because I used to just smash. I was essentially a speed player. I would just speed play through. I just wanted to get the end of the fucking story as quick as possible to know that I had done that game, but also so that when I go back to that game, I know it better. Because again, being that kinesthetic learner, going through the things, I have to watch a movie 2 or 3 times for it to really be ingrained in my head, unless it's phenomenal, unless it's fucking
of course.
Endgame or Infinity War or fucking Captain America fight Bucky. Those things live rent free in my cortex.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, they really can capitalize. Games really can capitalize, I feel, on making a show like Tekken recently.
Yes, another show I'd have to watch.
By the way, I feel like that was such a fucking good anime, but others might disagree if they haven't played the show, have played the game.
Yeah.
So it really is, it's quite subjective, to be fair. The Witcher, though, everyone does seem quite like that. I even told my mother to watch it because she likes Game of Thrones and that kind of thing. I guess
very, very similar sort of thing.
Although Henry shoves the sword through a dude's head and bisects his head.
Yeah, it's nice.
So it's probably not less brutal.
Yeah.
Less frequency, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe less frequent.
But anyway, so I told her to watch it, and she goes, "Oh, maybe we'll watch it when you visit next." And I'm kind of like, I don't think that's a good idea, right?
Yeah, there's quite a few awkward scenes in that show, especially the first season. It's very much like, oh, again, really?
Yeah, and like Geralt and Yen, fucking hell.
That's all they do, really. Like,
it is though. Oh my goodness! Like, good for her though. Good for her.
I think Henry specifically said that I think he kind of pointed them in the direction of make those sort of scenes more meaningful and less frequent, rather than just like in there just because, like just a bit more kind of like they kind of mean something, which is nice.
I suppose I'm happy with both.
Where is what I want? Give me what I want.
I just want to see shirtless Geralt.
Oh yeah, I think they've even made you've seen those like birthday cakes where they've got the cutout of shirtless Geralt in like the tub, but it's him on top of a birthday cake and he's just sitting there like this. Yeah,
you know
like
that. I have.
Yeah.
And do you know what else? It's my birthday soon.
Of course.
Yep. I'm gonna expect that from someone I fucking know.
I mean, I feel like it's a very obvious choice of gift. You know, like what else? It's not hard. Get a cake, just get the little cutout, cut it out, put it on the cake. You're done. That's it.
I got a lot of male friends as well that'll be coming to my birthday, and I'll be like, "You get the bike fit."
Oh dear. It's funny.
Oh well. I mean, I'm sure soon, very soon, we will be playing Crisis Core, and by God, will we be fucking casting.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. We'll see. It'll be the first playthrough for you. I played it a bajillion times, but it will be the first thing for you. So, you know, I guess a peripheral sort of kind of what happened as much as the cloud flashbacks kind of told you. But you don't know all the characters that you kind of meet, the side questy stuff, all the specific story stuff. You know, obviously characters like Angeal and Genesis, you don't really know at all because they're kind of only introduced in this game. Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting time for you because obviously, you know, as a Sephiroth fan, you get to see Sephiroth before he goes kind of insane. And like I enjoyed Sephiroth's character. I thought he was really good, and you know, and he was, as in the context of the game, he was this big hero, but he was like nice and kind of like, you know, somewhat like as much of a dick as he kind of comes off, which is like it's good to see that kind of different side before he goes absolutely insane and kills everybody. So like, you know, it's nice to have a bit of a change.
Yeah, I am so looking forward to seeing the other dimension of Sephiroth. Like, I am such a Sephiroth stan. I would take him in any form, like, to be honest. But I feel like Psycho Sephiroth has like his dialogue is very one-dimensional. You know, it's all just, hey Cloud, this thing, I want the planet, blah blah blah. So yeah, I am looking forward to hearing him have actual fucking dialogue as not some kind of brainwashed mama's boy. Genesis as well. Genesis and Angeal, I'm very much looking forward to seeing that whole stitch. I know Genesis is pissed at Seth because Seth's strong and Genesis is also strong and la la la. So that's going to be real cool to watch. I'm probably going to stream, I'm going to say all of it, to be fair, because why not? I can't imagine it being very long.
I think if you want to do everything, it can be, just because there's an abundance of side quests that you can do. And some of them are, if they're going to do like a shot-for-shot sort of remake, some of them are just go here, kill this boss enemy, end of side quest. But there's just a lot of them, and there's a lot of like equipment you can get and materia. And if they've kept everything the same, you have the materia fusion, which is like, I have a fire materia, I have an ice materia, I mix them together, now I have like fire 2 or something. Like, so that's a fun little mechanic you'll be able to experiment on and stuff. So
This is exciting. I am so excited.
It's gonna be very good.
Oh my goodness. Oh well, I think we've pretty much covered everything we came here to cover today. So what do you say we wrap it up?
We need like outro music.
I don't know.
I feel I would play something, but I feel like we get like copyright struck, so we need to like think about that in the future and just be like, where's something we don't need to credit that we can play?
That is absolutely a thing on the platform that we're on, is we cannot play any music from anything unless we if you're playing a game, you got to tag that game so that it knows that.
There's I think there's obviously I play like a few different sport games, and if they have like actual music in the background, if you don't, I think there's an option in game to turn that music completely off so you don't get copyright struck. So it's like, ugh, don't want to anger the copyright lords.
I mean, we don't, to be fair, because we really want this to get, zillions of followers and zillions of hours talked about the things. So
yeah, and then I can get an actual Shinra throne.
Yeah. And I can get more of these.
More figurines, of course.
And more of these and more
Posties.
Of that and that, actually.
More plants.
More. Yeah. I like plants.
Get a little plant vase thing that's got like the Shinra logo on it.
Again, it's my birthday soon. Actually, you bought me a microphone, so never mind. Everyone else.
I did get a microphone.
All good. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Depending on where you are, we are on YouTube and on Spotify, so you can listen and or watch. I encourage the watch because it has our awesome faces on it.
It will also automatically, I think, upload to Apple Podcasts. I want to say too, or no, not Apple, just other podcast services. But it may take a day or so afterwards, as far as my understanding of podcasts go. Not Apple yet, because there's a lot of hoops you have to go through to get your Apple one done. But other podcast services, they should automatically go on there when Spotify goes on. Fun fact.
Fun fact for everybody. All right, well, good. Well, good chat, Nick, and I will talk to you later on, and we'll see you all at the next one.